Welcome to the Tuesday edition of One's World, and you can see here some cooking that I did yesterday. I'm not going to give you a recipe, but I thought I'd show you that I do sometimes do something a little bit different. This is a sliced pork, mushroom and Chinese cabbage stir fry with a few spicy condiments. Very, very nice. But today I want to talk about the day of rest. And though it is Tuesday when you'll see this, I'm actually recording it on Sunday. So let's get into it. Now, the 7-day week with a day of rest in it seems to be a strictly Jewish invention. The 7-day week by itself is not. There seem to be a number of ancient cultures that had 7-day weeks, including Babylon. But the 7-day week with 1 day of rest seems to be uniquely Judaic. And this is the thing. The year, the month, and the day are all defined in terms of the sun and the moon. That is, in many, many cultures, the day ends when the sun goes down. And so a period of a day will be from sundown to sundown, which is still true in the Jewish calendar. So that's one rotation of the earth. A year is one revolution of the sun. Well, in old times it would be the revolution of the sun, but in modern astronomical terms it would be one revolution of the earth around the sun from some marker to some marker. That's an odd one. Where it stops and starts is mutable. Could be January 1st, could be Halloween, it was in some cultures, in Celtic cultures. Could be any number of different days, but it had to be the same day each year so that you get back to that starting point. Could be the solstice, summer or winter solstice, all measurable astronomically. And then the month, of course, is one cycle of the moon, around 28 days. Now, of course, one of the oddities is that we go around the sun approximately every 365 days, and the lunar cycle is 28 days, and 28 does not divide into 365 evenly. So you've got a lot of decisions to make. And one of the common ones in what's called a lunisolar calendar is to have every month be strictly a lunar cycle, perhaps from new moon to new moon. That is when you can just barely see the beginning crescent of the first moon to the next one. And then because you are going to have some extra days left over, then you have what are called intercalary days, and they take you on to the next year. And that was originally how the Romans did it under originally the kings, and certainly in the Republic until Julius Caesar reformed the calendar and added some extra months, including one named after himself, Julius, July, and one named after the goddess Juno, which is why, incidentally, our last months of the year have names that don't actually mesh with what they are. September, October, November, December is 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. But they're not. They're 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's because they were 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th in the original Roman calendar. But when Julius Caesar added Julius and Juno, then he bumped those down, but we kept the names. Okay, all that's fine. But when you live in a society that requires cycles that are smaller than the month but larger than the day, then you have to decide how you're going to break up your month. And you can do it in a number of ways. The week can be 7 days, 8 days, 9 days. In Bali, they actually have a series of cycling weeks. Don't remember exactly now, but I think they have something like a 3-day week, a 5-day week, a 7-day week, and a 9-day week. And they all cycle, and then they come back together again every so often. You can do that. You can have a 9-day week, very common. But the 7-day week works out very well in terms of marketing. That is, if you have a market in your village or town every week, then 7 days works out just about right. The people can work for 6 days, whether it be in the fields or with their animals or whatever, and then on one day in 7 they can go to the market and sell what they have been producing. They can't go to the market every day because they're not producing enough to go every day, and they wouldn't have the time to produce anything if they were going every day. But if they go one day in 7, they've got enough time to work and to sell their produce, which they have accumulated in that 7-day period. Sometimes, not all the time, but in the most productive periods. And 7 days turns out to be just about right. And it divides up the month equally into 4s. So you've got a lunar month of 28 days with 4 weeks in it, with one of those days being a special day. So the 7-day week is fairly common. But what that 7th day is varies from culture to culture. It can be market day in some cultures. Some cultures consider it to be an unlucky day. And that can be a sort of positive thing, if you like, in that if it's an unlucky day, like Friday the 13th, then it might be the day when you don't do anything. Because if you do something on that day, or if you begin something on that day, it's going to be inauspicious. But then Genesis is very, very specific. Like, God labored for 6 days. I mean, I'm not sure that it was hard labor. I mean, he was just basically speaking, let there be light. I mean, I don't know that that's a whole day's work. But maybe separating the light from the darkness was more effort. And as the week got on, it got more and more. I mean, by the 6th day, he was having to make all the land animals and humans, and that's a big job. Maybe making the sky and separating the water above and the water below was a bit of an effort too. But he's God. I mean, he can do things quickly, I'm sure. But he did all of those things on 6 days. And on the 7th day, he rested. And that's my point, that 7th day is meant to be a day of rest. Now, what's happened? Well, I can't blame it all on any one particular culture. I mean, I can't blame it on Jews or Christians or Muslims or whatever. But they turned it into a holy day. We'll talk about what holy day means in a minute. But holy day meaning I'm not only not going to work, I'm not going to do anything that even approximates work. And I'm going to spend all of my day reading scriptures or going to the temple or to church or what have you. And I'm going to forbid fun. You can't play football on Sunday because that's a sin. To have fun on the day of rest. You're supposed to rest by reading the Bible. Well, okay, I'm an ordained minister, so I kind of understand that. But I don't, when I was an active pastor and had churches, then I worked on Sunday. I worked hard, and an awful lot of Presbyterian ministers spend all day Sunday working one way or another. Sometimes they've got morning and evening services, or they've got multiple morning services and then evening youth group or something like that, or they've got various committees and community things and what have you. So a great many Presbyterian ministers have a day of rest, but it's Monday. I didn't, because I had to do other jobs. I was part-time in the ministry. But now I'm not a pastor, and I take the idea of a day of rest very, very seriously. And among other things, I don't go to church, because as far as I'm concerned, that's not resting. that's like part of my professional vocation. I stay at home and I try not to do certain things. The most important is I try not to do anything financial. That means obviously I'm not going to go shopping, and I mean shopping for anything. I'm not going to check my bank balance or balance my checkbook. I'm not going to pay any bills. If the first of the month is Sunday, then the bills all have to wait till Monday. And that's fine where I live right now. My rent and my utilities all come due on the first of the month. But the staff here are not going to be happy about me trying to pay the bills on Sunday, because they want Sunday off as well. So they're quite content to wait till Monday. I just generally speaking try not to do anything that looks like financial work. But here's the thing, and I was thinking about this morning as I got up, and I don't have to work on my writing on Sundays, because that's part of it's not part of my job. I'm not an active professor anymore. But it's work. But it's work I enjoy. I sat down at my computer and I looked at what I had written yesterday, and I just started writing again because I like doing it. It's like, this little piece I want to tweak here, and I'm not going to do a whole lot. I will watch a movie at some point, and I will ride my bicycle, probably take a few photos and one thing and another. So just, generally chill out. But this is the point I want to make, that and there's a difference between what Orthodox Jews think now, and what some, not all, but some Christians think now. Because in Jesus' time, I mean, Jesus quite clearly said the Sabbath was made for humans. Humans were not made for the Sabbath. It's not like, well, it was that the Sabbath came first because that was the first week of creation. But it was meant to be a help. It's that here you are. But by Jesus' time, the law had become so restrictive that he couldn't even go into a field and just pick some ripe cereal. I don't remember what it was, Bali maybe or whatever. You know, the scribes and the Pharisees were saying, "Oh, he's working on Sunday or the Sabbath, not Sunday, seventh day," and he's saying, "Look, I'm hungry. It's okay to do something to satisfy your hunger on the Sabbath, because it's made for me. It's my resting day. I'm supposed to have fun on this day. So if I want to play football or invite people over and cook a nice meal or whatever, that's what it's for. And so if my writing gives me joy, then I should do it on Sunday. Paying the bills, balancing the checkbook, that doesn't give me joy. So I don't do that. I try not to do a whole lot of cleaning around the house on Sundays also, because I really, really hate that. But I've got white marble floors and they pick up a lot of dirt all the time, so I can't just not clean it. But I can not do like a major clean on a Sunday. I'll do it on a Saturday or a Monday, but not on a Sunday. And I won't teach on Sunday, even though I enjoy it. But it's also effort. It's work for me. So that's the key idea, I think, is that, like, it's not just is it fun, but how much effort does it involve? Now, my writing is fun, but sometimes it's effort, because some chapters that I'm writing right now require a certain amount of research and digging and editing and whatnot. Okay, I won't do that on a Sunday. I'll wait till Monday to do that. But I'll do the writing on Sunday that just gives me pleasure, that I just enjoy doing. And I won't go, absolutely, bananas about it. If I get a little tired, I'll get up and do something else, make some food, or maybe watch a movie, or a piece of a movie anyway. I don't tend to watch movies from beginning to end. I tend to watch fragments of them because I don't find them very interesting. Or I'll pick up a book or something like that. So I won't go at it hell for leather on Sunday. Monday I will, Tuesday I will, all the rest of those days I will. But even if I don't make my minimum target, I set myself a target of 500 words a day, which is about a page. And I always exceed that, usually triple it. On Sunday I won't. I'll maybe do that minimum, maybe not even do that minimum, and I won't keep track of it. So that's how I see the day of rest. I see it as a time to just, well, they say in metaphoric terms, like recharge my batteries. I don't know if that's the best metaphor, but just like not feel as if I'm going at things gangbusters 7 days a week, all my waking hours. Now here's another interesting thing though. In most Euro-American cultures now, they have a 5-day work week, so they have 2 days off. Now that makes things a little bit odd. In a lot of the world, it's still 6 days of work and 1 day of rest. That was the case when I was working in Italy for the students, not for the the teachers, but for the students. They had to go to school Monday to Saturday. They got Sunday off. But they didn't go for the full day like they do in other parts of the world. Like in England, my school day was 9 to 4. In the school I taught at in Italy, the school day was typically 9 to 1, 6 days a week. Don't know why that was. They could have had a longer day and taken 2 days off. Most workers in England, the United States, have Saturday and Sunday off. So Sunday being a day of rest is a little bit odd, because in a sense Saturday is also your day of rest. Now, back when I was a kid, the shops were open 6 days a week and all completely shuttered on Sunday. You couldn't buy anything on Sunday, except maybe very early in the morning. Some of the bakers would be open, a few odds and ends like that. But maybe there were some corner stores that would sell just small items, bread, milk, cigarettes, so forth. But all the main shops were completely shuttered on Sunday. I used to go down the main street in Gawler in South Australia, where I lived, on Saturday with my parents, to do the Saturday shopping. Just jam-packed. I would meet a lot of friends. They would meet a lot of friends. Sunday, I used to walk up the same street from the Baptist church where I used to go to Sunday school, to the Presbyterian church where I used to go to regular church. The Sunday school was from 10 to 11, and church was from 11 to 12. And I had to walk up the length of Murray Street, the main street. Not a soul around. Nothing open, nothing happening. I would rarely even bump into anybody on the street on Sunday. And that was true in England too. And also in some parts of the United States for a while. New Jersey was that way for a very long time. I don't think it is anymore. And there's a there's a real reason for this, is that if you are allowed to have your factory, shops, business, offices open 7 days a week, people with money in their eyes will want their employees to work 7 days a week. Maybe give them a day off, sprinkled around, but mostly they'll want them to work 7 days a week, and that's just not fair. And so the biblical principle was a fairness principle. It was saying, I'm sorry, you may have dollar signs in your eyes, thinking that you can exploit your workers 7 days a week, but we're not going to let you. You have to have Sunday off. And I just like that idea, that and it's sort of enforced rest is good for the soul. And so yes, I did go back to videos, even though last time I was wondering whether I would or not, and I'm still wondering, but a little bit of inspiration, and so here I am asking you again to please like and subscribe and have a good week. And I will see you on Friday.